I went to VidCon and I had such a fun time. I learned a lot. I made some really great friends. I just had a great time in general. And not only did I learn a lot from like the panels and classes and stuff that I went to, I also learned a lot about myself as a person in those 3 days, which was not really what I was expecting to learn, but hey, I'll take it. And one of the things I learned about myself is that I have a hard time talking to people that I admire that are even mildly well known. I saw a lot of YouTubers just kind of walking around, and you would think that if I see someone that I admire, who I really want to talk to, my first reaction would be to go up to them and say, "Hi, I really like your stuff. Will you please take a picture with me?" But no, my immediate reaction was to have the exact reaction I would expect for someone on the opposite side of the spectrum of these people. Someone that I knew, didn't like, and didn't want to talk to. Which is to say, my immediate reaction was to pull my phone out of my pocket and stare at it like life or death was written on that screen. But by day 3, I had gathered up some semblance of courage, along with a lot of jealousy of my little sister, who had a lot of stories and a lot of pictures with people because she was essentially stalking them. And I decided that I would at least speak words to some YouTubers that I really like. The first person that I gathered the courage to speak to, Charlie McDonald. I went to a Q&A that he was doing for the creators, and he was not doing the whole, stand there and meet people and take pictures and stuff afterwards because he had somewhere else to be. But he was standing there packing up long enough for a few of us to say words to him. And the words that I chose to say to someone that I have really admired for a long time are, "My little sister wanted me to tell you thank you so much for the picture yesterday, and she's really sorry she was so nervous. Bye." And then I walked away. I took the one opportunity I had to speak to someone that I really admire to not tell them that I really admire them or that they make me happy, but instead to apologize for something that my little sister did not actually say, that I just made up so that I would have something to say. But hey, at this point, I was proud of myself because I had said something. At that point, I didn't even care what I had said. I had said something. I even texted my little sister afterwards and was like, "I hope it's okay that I totally just used you as an excuse to talk to Charlie McDonald." She was okay with it. She thought it was hysterical. The very next thing I went to was a panel that was all about the power of online video and how we can impact people through online video. And it was really cool. And there were 2 people on that panel in particular. The entire panel was fantastic, but 2 people in particular that I was really excited to see. Markiplier, current favorite, and Tyler Oakley were both on the panel that I was going to. And while this panel was going on and they were having this discussion, I actually came up with a legitimate question that I wanted answered. But at this point, I had not asked any questions because I could not bring myself to put my hand in the air and ask for the microphone. But I really wanted this question answered. I knew they could help me out, so I did it. I raised my hand, and it actually took me a second to realize that someone was actually handing me the microphone. So I stood up, looked around for a second, and I asked my question. And both Tyler and Mark answered it, and the whole time I'm sitting there just with my eyes glued to whoever is currently speaking. But the entire panel answered my question, and by the way, all of them gave very fantastic advice. So I asked my question, I sat down, and when you ask a question at a panel, they're addressing the whole room, but you're the one that asked the question. So they're looking at you while they speak, which meant that both Markiplier and Tyler Oakley spoke to me and gave me advice. But yes, they answered my question. They were looking at me the whole time. It was surreal, also very helpful, but also still very surreal. And that was that. I didn't say hi to them afterwards. I didn't anything. And then the last person I talked to was at the very end of the day. And this is someone else that I very much admire and I very much love. And I would love to give them a hug in person. Except this time I actually did. Kind of. Side hug. Does that count? So at this point, all of the classes are over, everything is over. They're actually shutting down the convention center, which means they've herded everyone outside and everyone's just kind of standing there. I see Evan Edinger, who, if you don't know who he is, highly recommend it. He is hysterical and also really sweet. But I see him out of the corner of my eye and I go, and my friends see my immediate reaction, which is something that, granted, all of us at one point or another at this point had given to someone at some point. Please don't tell me, guys, if I got that wrong and none of the rest of you were actually having that reaction. Just let me have my dignity by letting me think I wasn't the only one having these reactions, please. But I see him, my friends see me see him, and they go, "You should go talk to him. You obviously want to go speak to him. Go talk to him." So I stand there doing this for about 5 minutes. I want to go talk to him, but I also really don't. My friend Christy goes, "We're gonna go over there." So she starts walking, everyone else kind of starts walking with her, and I, as I'm getting closer, I'm going, because keep in mind, everyone that I've spoken to up to this point, there was like a desk and a stage between us. So we walk up, Evan's talking to some other girls, he's like chit-chatting and bantering and enjoying himself, so I stand there for a good 5 minutes. Eventually, the girls that Evan are talking to need to leave, so I'm the one that's been standing there for 5 minutes. So he turns to me like this, which I'm sure he had the very best intentions of doing. He wanted to acknowledge that I was there and give me the opening. But by turning and pointing, not only did he open me up to say hello, like he acknowledged my existence, but he also flared up this unwarranted anxiety of the situation inside of me. So I blurted out something along the lines of, "Hi, thank you for inspiring me, and thank you," which he responded something along the lines of, "Oh, no, don't worry about it. Evan, first rule of improv, don't shut down whatever the person before you said, because then they have nowhere to go," which did not help me at all. I'm terrible at improv, so this made the situation worse. And then I said something else to negate his negation of my original statement. I don't even remember what I said. I'm sure I said something profound and brilliant, but I truly don't even remember what I said. And eventually I was like, "Can I take a picture with you?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure." So, I took the picture and I walked away, and my friends were like, "Was that so bad?" I was like, yes, that was bad. It was very bad. I want to make it very clear though, it's not Evan's fault that I was having anxiety about the situation. Nothing he did caused this to happen. This was all on me. And that was my very last interaction with a featured creator at VidCon. But the one similarity between all of these interactions at VidCon is that when I went up to someone that I admired, I had something very specific to say. And that was the only thing I was prepared to say. Anything else after that was strictly me speaking without filtering it through my brain. So I guess the takeaway is that I need a freaking script to even speak to anyone that I admire. And I apologize to all the featured creators that I did talk to, because I felt like I was putting you in some weird situation that you were uncomfortable in. Even if it wasn't for you, I want to apologize, because it felt like I was doing that to you. And thank you to my friends who stood patiently and encouraged me, even though I took a solid 10 minutes to talk to Evan between standing there staring at him and then moving and standing there staring at him. And thank you to you specifically for watching this video, because it was a lot of fun to make, and I'm glad that someone is enjoying it. But that is all for this story time-esque video this week. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye! My reaction was to have what I would expect my reaction. That doesn't make any sense, Kendall. That sentence was not going to make any kind of sense, so let's just scrap it now. She really sorry. She really sorry. Fantastic grammar. That's probably exactly what came out of my mouth, to be honest.